Good morning everyone, my name is Daniel Baker and this is Diagnosis Debunked, and today we are speaking about one of the most misrepresented conditions on the mental health list, and that is bipolar disorder. Now, bipolar disorder isn't moodiness, it's not unpredictability, and it's not something people snap out of. Bipolar is a medical condition, not a personality. Now, let's start with stereotypes, because bipolar disorder has been misrepresented for decades and still is to this day. Now, a lot of people think bipolar means happy one minute and sad the next, or being dramatic, or being unstable. That's not even close. Not even close. Bipolar disorder is a condition that affects mood, energy, and activity levels in cycles that can last days, weeks, or even months. Now, I've not been diagnosed with bipolar, but I know people who have, and it must be exhausting. It must be absolutely exhausting not knowing how long these cycles last. Now, there is two main phases of bipolar. First, and number one, maybe not first, but number one is depression. So that's low energy, the feeling of hopelessness, exhaustion, and withdrawal. The second, mania or hypomania. That's high energy, racing thoughts, impulsivity, reduced need for sleep, intense focus or agitation. Now, that's somewhere to go from one extreme to the other, but in a simple terms, that's really what bipolar is. Now, these aren't mood swings. These are shifts in brain energy systems. Powerful, overwhelming, often misunderstood. Now, what bipolar is not. Now, bipolar is not being emotional. It's not being dramatic. It's not split personality, and it's not something people choose. Why would you want to choose something like this? It's a terrible condition and still misunderstood to this day. Now, people with bipolar aren't dangerous. They're not unreliable, and they're not too much. The people whose brain moves between two extremes, often without warning and often in silence. Now, the bipolar experience. Now, bipolar looks different for everyone, but here are the most common patterns. This is going to sound a bit more like movies in a sequel, but bipolar 1, mania that can be intense or disruptive, often followed by deep depression. Now, that's two, very contrasting extremes. Bipolar 2, hypomania, a lighter, more controlled high, followed by significant depression. Cyclothymia, this cycles between, so frequent shifts between low levels, highs and lows. That one sounds the most frustrating to me. If anybody's been diagnosed with bipolar and are seeing this, please drop it in the comments and we can share and if you want to share your story, how you live with it and how you manage it, please. It may help someone else who recently just being diagnosed or is looking for answers. Now, here's something important. Mania isn't always fun. Sometimes it's terrifying, sometimes it's chaotic, and sometimes it feels like you're losing control of your own damn mind. Now, like I said, depression factors heavy in with bipolar and can be equally heavy, long and deep and hard to explain. Now, this is the truth that people don't hear enough. People with bipolar can and do live stable, meaningful, successful lives. Not by pretending the condition doesn't exist, but by understanding it, by managing it and building support around it. So if you are living with bipolar, have you got a good support system? Do you know how to manage it? And do you understand the condition? And would you be willing to make your colleagues, your friends, your family understand the condition more? If you are, please let us know, and maybe we can have an open discussion about that together, so we can understand this condition more that's, like I said before, still very, very misunderstood. But there is things that people often find helpful. 1. Structure and routine. Sounds pretty basic. I think we've all got our own version of structure and routine, but predictability helps stabilise mood cycles. I'm not saying a minute by minute account of your day or your activities, but just have some sort of routine. Build a routine if you need to. Sleep hygiene. Now, sleep is one of the biggest mood regulators. I think if anybody without bipolar, if you've had enough sleep, you feel better, and if you don't have enough sleep, a bit cranky and do not disturb sort of stuff. I'm the same. I don't get enough sleep, cranky. You can ask my wife. If you get too much sleep, I can be cranky also. So you've got to find a good amount of sleep for yourself. Now, number 3, recognizing the early signs. Now, this is something that you can obviously help yourself do, but also help others, so they can recognize if you're going to be having an episode of mania or depression or something like that, so people can look out for your body language, that sort of thing like that, I'm sure. So catching early shifts makes a huge difference. So again, more about conversation and education with workplace, your family, your friends, your partner, anything like that. Now, supportive relationships pretty much goes in tie with number 3. People who understand the condition and they can help reduce shame. Nobody should be shamed for having a mental health condition. Nobody should be ridiculed for that. Most of the time, it's obviously people are misunderstood, and people, not for the lack of the better term, but are ignorant to all the conditions out there, and people are just thinking, you're dramatic or you're sensitive, all that sort of thing. It's absolute bollocks, to be fair. How about take the time, speak to the person with the condition, and get yourself an understanding of the condition, so you could probably help them in the future. Now, one thing that has a lot of things with probably with people with bipolar, self-compassion. Not to blame yourself for everything, for something you didn't choose. It's not something you can have a checklist before you were born. I think I'll have bipolar. No, it doesn't. You don't choose this. And when you do get diagnosed, it must be a monumental shift in how your daily life works, or even if you've not been diagnosed and some of these symptoms jump up to you. If you haven't been diagnosed or seen a professional, please do. I can't stress that enough. If you feel like there's something off or you're not yourself, go see a professional. Try get an appointment. Go get diagnosed properly. By a professional, so that you can learn how to manage the condition on a day-to-day basis, so you're not always guessing. I'll always go to professionals because they know what they're talking about. I'm just a person who's advocating for this sort of thing, not a professional. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a counsellor. But please, if you've got professional help at hand or know someone who can help you understand the condition better, please speak to them. Now, just to recap, bipolar isn't a flaw. It's a condition, one that many people navigate with strength, resilience and courage, because that's what it takes to live with a condition like this, I'm sure. It's not just physical strength, it's sort of mental strength and a bit of fortitude. Resilience. You've got to be resilient to live with something like this, I'm sure. So most resilient people are probably people living with bipolar and other conditions. And courage to tell people that you have been diagnosed with bipolar. So it takes some courage to live with it. So now I have a friend, and they once told me my highs don't make me invincible, and my lows don't make me weak. They just make me human. And that's very profound, very, very profound. Pretty good advice and a good way to look at it. Your highs don't make you Superman or Supergirl, whichever, and your lows don't make you weak. No, they don't. Mental illness is not weakness, it's something you didn't choose. And what they told me, that stayed with me, because bipolar doesn't erase who you are. It just changes how your brain moves through the world. And with understanding, support and patience, people like yourselves who are diagnosed with bipolar, they thrive, and they can thrive. Can have really good, successful lives. Now, with bipolar, I've never been diagnosed with it, but I'd love to hear some people's stories who are living with bipolar. I really would, so I can understand the condition of it. I don't have all the answers, and I don't know everything about everything, but I'd like to learn. So if you are living bipolar and you're seeing this video, please get in touch, drop a comment, so it helps me understand the condition more, just in case I encounter someone who lives with bipolar or is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, so I could probably help them. Now, if you are living with bipolar, please hear this. You're not unstable, you're not unpredictable, and you're not alone. It's just that your brain works differently, and that's not something to be ashamed of. My name's Daniel Baker. This is Diagnosis Debunked, and you, exactly who you are and as you are, belong here.